So,
Okay,
welcome
wonderful.
DeepanshuJi on my channel.
Thank you for your kind
Thank
introduction. I think that today was the day, right? When you go with prediction with someone who knows Jyotish,
Yes.
your life becomes easier because you know why I'm saying this or why we are actually
Yeah,
going in that direction,
right.
rather than to someone who's completely newbie. But
Yeah,
people never give you that liberty. They will always come back to their own charts.
their own charts. Yeah.
They will always come back and say, my chart has this combination. Why
Yeah.
don't you tell us? See, what you're expecting when you are putting out bird details over there is that
Mm-hmm.
someone will actually make your chart
Hmm.
and guide you properly. And this is on a comment section. Like, I mean, you will give me a chart and whatever I will understood from that bird details, I will just give
Hmm.
out based on that dasha or based on your age, what age group you are in.
True.
But it will not make sense to you
Hmm.
until and unless you come and sit down in front of astrologer and
Yeah.
actually discuss with an
That's
astrologer
true.
what actually he wants to convey. So I always say, go to your local astrologer and do not change him
Hmm.
because that astrologer, once he is right for you, he will continue to be in the same direction. And as you will progress, so do not change, do not hop. I mean, the trouble with the hopping is, I mean, you can go to 1,000 astrologers. If you
Thousand.
do not have a good ninth house,
See.
then nothing is going to happen, right? So that ninth house is a crux while going to an astrologer.
Hmm.
If you have a good ninth house, you can go to any astrologer. The astrologer will have a Devi Kripa. He will speak through, the gods
The
will speak through him.
divine.
When I remember a chart, I was doing a consultation for someone else. Like it was a con call happening, right?
Okay.
So this person
Okay.
requested, and this person is my regular one,
Hmm.
who keeps on coming regular. And I said, no,
Hmm.
you give him 10 minutes, 10
Hmm.
minutes, just
Hmm.
10. And I said,
Hmm.
okay, just you're
Hmm.
pushing me, I will do it for you.
Hmm.
So this person had a Navanch Rahu, ninth house.
Okay.
I said, you don't have a father, you don't have a guru, you don't have an astrologer. My advice is pretty much useless to you. This is
Hmm.
how we actually started. And she said, and this was a female
Hmm.
person, and she
Hmm.
said, I don't have father.
Hmm. Hmm.
Confirmed.
Hmm.
Bosses never worked.
Hmm.
Mentor don't know what they are.
Hmm.
And then why you have come to me? I mean,
Hmm.
I'm also useless to you.
Yeah.
And I predicted two or three things, and I mean, I had to actually say, I had to talk to you because this person is in between. If you would
Hmm.
have approached directly, my answer would be straight away no. I can't help you. It is difficult to help people who have Navansh, ninth house Rahu, or a bit of a malefic combinations happening, like ninth lord and eighth are going up.
Hmm.
So, and Navansh is a bhagya chart. Now you're not born with that kind of a
Hmm.
bhagya.
Hmm. Hmm.
How an astrologer is going to give you that punya? You need to have some kind of a punya. If you can guide someone with
Yeah.
that kind of combination,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a blessing
Yeah.
because these charts require really special attention, and the amount of efforts and energy goes in. And even when you do consultations, and the person comes back complaining back again and says, this has not happened, or I have not followed these remedies.
Yeah.
The thing is, uh, I've seen a lot of people. I mean,
Hmm.
on an average, I do at least 5 to 6 consultations a day, and a busy day it goes up to 10. And
Yeah.
this is physical consultations because I hardly do it
Hmm.
online now.
Hmm.
And when physical consultation, online is still better. Yeah, I mean, amount of energy a person carries with himself.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, I try to wind up my sessions in 20, 30 minutes.
Yes.
But
Hmm.
there are times, I mean, the other day, I got a really good consultation. I met someone, and this guy, I told the reference guy who brought him, I said, I will give him 20 minutes, that's it. And
Hmm.
I'm giving because of you 20 minutes, done.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then I have to go somewhere else.
Hmm. Hmm.
But this guy was so good. I delayed all my meetings and I said, I want to study on I will go with this chart because he had like 5 plants in one house, third house.
Wow.
And this guy had a brilliant Navanch. He got a Dashansh Lagan Ketu. And whenever you see Dashansh Lagan Ketu,
Hmm.
these are special charts. Always remember, these
Hmm.
are very
Hmm.
special charts because this
Yeah.
was 1982. They got four
Four,
and
five
five planets
planets were in that.
conjunction. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Suns, everything was in Libra. So it
Correct.
was a Leo ascendant in Libra was loaded.
Oh,
And
wow. Hmm.
Dashansh Lagan has Ketu. So whenever you see Dashansh Lagan Ketu, this
Hmm.
is a special chart. This is the chart of somebody who is trying to get liberated.
Wow.
And if this Ketu's dispositor becomes powerful, or
Hmm.
Ketu sits with an exalted planet, or somewhere it gets power,
Hmm.
then it's a special chart. It has to be looked into. And this guy, so
Wow.
sometimes you get the clients, they will give you energy back
Hmm.
because they've got a loaded third house with benefics.
Hmm.
Sometimes you get clients with a bad loaded third house, like Mars Rahu third house,
Right.
or the Malefics in ninth house. Then the another thing which I learned from Santip. See, Santip is another friend of mine like you. We talk once in 6 months, but we will be exactly pick up from where we left, and then we will speak about like 2 hours straight on Jyotish, and then
Yeah.
we'll off for 6 months. We'll not speak to each other. This is kind of relationship I have with you, with the Santip, and all the other people,
Yeah.
and I think that's a beauty of
Like-minded people.
yeah. I mean, they understand the kind of energy goes in to
Hmm.
in Jyotish, and they understand the challenges with it.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Santip taught me this. If
Hmm.
if client's moon if client's Mars is on your moon,
Hmm.
you will
Hmm.
feel irritated with that client because and I read in Jatak Tattvam, moon
Hmm.
Mars combination is the Lakshmi yoga, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So what I told Santip is, you see, the client will be irritating, but he will be handsomely paying you
Paying you simultaneously.
because he's bound to pay you money.
Yeah.
That's a Lakshmi
That's
yoga is
true.
going to get formed. And the
Hmm.
thing is that Mars, whenever the moon Mars combination happens in someone's chart, the
Hmm.
person will get money,
Hmm.
but he's always irritated. He's always in a very grumpy mood. That why this is happening? Why you're doing this? And I realize this is such a brilliant combination. It works in matching
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Somebody is asking about Chalit chart again and again.
Okay. Whenever there's a planet somewhere around 0 degree, 2 degrees, 29 degrees, and the planet moves, let's suppose somebody has a planet in ninth house
Hmm.
at 0 degree, and the planet moves back to eighth house in the Chalit chart.
Right.
Consider that planet to give you the results of the eighth house.
Hmm.
Rashi will remember because it's a bhava.
Bhava.
The feeling of a planet will be
Yes.
in the eighth house. You
Eighth house.
can't skip it. So whenever the planet goes back, it is
Hmm.
bound to give you that reversible effect related to the
Absolutely.
eighth house. Eighth house, not the eighth Rashi. So in Rashi chart, Rashi is a very the main agenda of a planet is the house.
Hmm. Hmm.
Rashi is only the flavor. How
Yes.
you're actually going to, it's like the color. It's the
Hmm.
amount. In
Hmm.
which currency you have to deal with.
Hmm. Hmm.
For
Hmm.
example, let me say,
Hmm.
somebody has a fourth house.
Right.
So fourth house is your home, your peace, your how you feel secure.
Hmm.
You have a planet sitting there. The planet is, let's suppose, Saturn or Mars or Moon, whichever planet sits in. So Saturn sits in fourth house. So you see, all the classical books will give you the results in Saturn fourth house. And they will tell you the results. Saturn fourth house gives you this, Saturn fourth house troubles you,
Hmm.
it gives you lungs problem. If Mars aspect sets, Saturn Moon gives you depression, have to leave the house. You will
Hmm.
not be welcome, you will not feel welcome within your own relatives.
Yep.
All these things,
Strict
Saturn fourth.
mother. Hmm. Hmm.
Strict mother, very bad while
Relation. Hmm.
growing up, very bad, humiliating kind of way.
Hmm.
This is what Saturn is.
Yeah.
But
Right.
how you are actually going to pay it? Because there's a lot of predictions. So what is the
Hmm.
currency?
Hmm.
What is the currency you're dealing in? See, when you write
Hmm.
Dhana Rashi,
Right.
it is means the amount of money you're going to put in. So every house, every Rashi is a currency. Like in Aries, it is body, your physical body.
Hmm.
You deal with physical body. You actually pay with your physical body. In second
Hmm.
house, you pay with your food.
Hmm.
So that's why, when you're doing the remedial parts, this will come in handy. With Gemini, the Rashi is just your tongue, your language. That's why whenever there's a Rashi Gemini issue, you have to chant.
Hmm.
So fourth house has a Rashi of, let's suppose, Cancer or
Hmm.
Libra.
Hmm.
Now, Libra, the Rashi is marriage.
Hmm.
So your currency is marriage. How you're going to pay for that fourth house Saturn is by relationships, is by the
Okay.
marriage. This is when you get married, that Saturn will say, it's my time,
Wow.
even when it is exalted. It says,
Hmm.
I'm going to, because I'm exalted here and it is my currency, you just wait. You will get married and you will get rich. While while growing up, you get humiliated, but that Libra will give you money after you get married. But let's suppose this Rashi would have been Scorpio.
Hmm. Hmm.
So Saturn will say, okay, my Rashi here is death. My currency is death. I
Hmm.
will only take money in death format.
Okay.
So until unless someone dies, my results, my money. So someone will die, the person will lose the career or get
Okay.
better in career based on Mars. Like if you want to see this example now, so there was this particular soccer player from Brazil.
Hmm. Hmm.
And this guy was like, he won the Golden Boot. He was called as the next Ronaldo of
Hmm.
Brazil. And there was a lot of things about this guy. Very good player. He
Hmm.
scored, I think, 23 goals in one season.
Hmm. Hmm.
And as he got the Golden Boot within a week, he got and see, he was in top of peak of his career.
Hmm. Hmm.
He got a phone call, your father died.
Hmm.
And after that, he lost it. He just lost that energy. He went into drinking, he went into drugs, and he just kind of come to a person who's always drunk, and his career finished there. So father died
And
and career
career.
gone. What is the currency here? The
Hmm.
currency is death. So Rashi is always the currency in which the Graha will say, pay me in this currency.
Hmm.
You have
Hmm.
not paid me in this currency. Now Saturn, because it denotes Ayu
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and sits in Scorpio, it says, pay me in form of death. Let's suppose Saturn would have been shifted to third house. So the Saturn moves to Bhavachali third house. Now everything will be related to third house. The skill. For example, you see whenever there is a afflicted third house, the person will work extremely hard with the
Hmm.
skill.
Hmm.
Do everything, reach to a certain position, and then something will happen. Like a click will happen, and
Hmm.
person
Hmm.
will lose all his skills. For example, in accident, like third house is for there's a word sportsman. I remember
Hmm.
he used to play for Uttarakhand,
Hmm.
and he used to play for Dalit Trophy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now this person, extremely good guy, everything going good. In the third house of skills, will practice everything. He
Hmm.
reached to a certain position, got married,
Okay.
and wife filed a harassment case, 498A. Now a click happened.
Right.
All the career went back to zero.
My
2 years
goodness.
of his life finish.
Sabotage.
Yes.
Yes.
So that skill went off.
Hmm.
But the Rashi in fourth house was Libra,
Okay. Marriage.
marriage. And I'm telling you, even when I've explained that, it will take, I mean, it took me months to master this. I mean, every chart I will see and I'll say, okay, this is how it actually going to perform. And then
Hmm.
you write it. I always tell
Yep.
people, when you learn a new technique, please write it down many
Right.
times
Hmm. Yes.
or underline it, whenever you read something in a book. I always feel Malefic Grahas as the bullies. They don't ask. They say it's my birthright to
It's my
give. So whenever they come, they just hold someone's collar in that Rashi and say, it's my
yeah.
turn. Give it now.
Yeah.
And especially Malefic in Kendras. I mean, you need to have Malefics in Kendras, and especially in
Hmm.
10th
Hmm.
house.
Hmm.
See, what people don't realize is when they say they want power in life,
Hmm. Hmm.
your 10th house need to have a lot of malefic grahas because to stay in power,
Yep.
you need to be extremely cruel.
For
You
politics
can't be soft.
and politicians
Yeah,
and
you,
all.
you
Yeah.
can't be
Hmm.
soft-hearted to become, just in seat of power. You have to deal with lot of nonsense,
Hmm.
and those people will eat you alive. They will skin you alive if you will not have that malefic sitting in either in sixth house
Hmm.
or in 10th house. Like I know a person, he's in security system of country. He has
Hmm.
Mars Rahu 10th house. He's bound to be in the Mars Rahu 10th house. Now, otherwise, who is going to protect the country? You need to have that kind of a planet in 10th house. Otherwise,
Extreme bullies.
if you have Jupiter in 10th house,
Hmm. Hmm.
you will be like, oh, Jupiter is a people pleaser. And whenever I see Jupiter in marriage circuit anywhere, I tell
Hmm.
people start looking for your own happiness rather than your partner's.
Okay.
because what people pleasers do, especially in that marriage circuit, or in let's suppose in office, 10th house, they're
Hmm.
always like how everyone will feel
Yeah.
rather than how they
Okay.
are feeling. So people start pushing them, pressing them, not respecting them. And
Hmm.
that is why, you require someone very bully with Jupiter, like Saturn has to protect, Mars has to, Rahu
Okay.
has to protect.
Okay. But
You need
Rahu in
these
the
planets.
10th house, do you think is considered to be good? Somewhere you said that Rahu in the 10th is not good. I've heard that from you only.
uh, the context I think was a Subhash Chandra Bose charts. You see, shadow planets are as good as how much light they're getting. For example, whatever shadow is forming behind you, it is only
Hmm.
because of the light.
Right.
The light has to come from somewhere.
Wow.
Otherwise, the shadow will not form.
Hmm.
And whenever people with shadow planets in 10th house ask me, should
Hmm.
I become this? Should I become minister? Should I take this post? I said, you are a shadow, remain one.
Okay.
You look at Subhash Chandra Bose, Sun Rahu 10th house.
Hmm.
I mean, he was peak of his career, everything gone. But
Hmm.
the day illusion ends,
Hmm.
you feel like you don't have, you only have head, you don't even have the body. There's no
Right.
feet of Rahu, you can't stand, and
Hmm.
everything is gone, and then you go into that disappearance. And it is very important for
Yeah.
people with the Rahu 10th house to understand the limits, when, especially when the dispositor is powerful or the Rashi Lord is extremely powerful.
Okay.
Or if Rahu sets with, there is a book I've recommended many times. The name of the book is Jyotish Sarvasva.
Okay. Jyotish Sarvasva.
This has a shlok which, and this is one of my first books which I brought while learning Jyotish. The thing with this book, this particular shlok says, when
Hmm.
Rahu is with a exalted planet,
Hmm.
the power of Rahu or Ketu increases 16 times.
Wow. Okay.
And when it is with the own house, so let's say planet is sitting like Jupiter Rahu, Jupiter is in Sagittarius,
Hmm.
in Mol Trikona, it will be 8 times. And then it will be
Okay.
4 times in own house,
Okay.
and then it will be 2 times. So it increases multifold in the
Oh, wow. Okay.
same manner. So whenever
Okay.
there's an exalted planet sitting with the shadow planet, you imagine these planets are extremely powerful.
Is it possible to change your destiny, or is chart set in a tone?
I've seen two things happening in front of me. First thing is sadhana. When I say
Hmm.
sadhana, you get devoted to a deity.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what happens? Instead of destiny, you change yourself. Your brain changes, everything else around you changes. And
Absolutely.
the sadhana, what it does is, and any kind of sadhana, when
Hmm.
you initiate into, you
Hmm.
will see signs, you will see limits, you will see different things,
Hmm.
which is, you can't explain it. The amount of consciousness or light you have in life, I mean, you see,
Hmm.
what we study, I mean, if you see closely, what we actually study in Jyotish is light, nothing
Right.
else.
Yeah.
And we see only 3 points from where the light is entering: the east horizon, sun, and moon.
Hmm.
And based on the amount of light planets are going to transmit, we say, okay, this planet is benefic, this planet is malefic. Stay away from them. So we have sun is the most king of all planets. We have moon in second. You have Shukra in third. We have
Hmm.
Jupiter in fourth,
Hmm.
and we have Mercury in fifth. We say, Mercury is dicey; it can go either way.
Hmm.
And then you have Mars, and then last we have Saturn.
Hmm.
So it's the amount of light. So any plant which is getting light
Yes.
is actually benefic.
Hmm.
And what is light? I mean, tamsoma jyotirgamaya.
Hmm.
Why we say because everything is about light, how much light
Right.
we are getting. And light is basically the consciousness.
Hmm.
And when we start understanding the consciousness, what we understand about universe, you start thinking, okay, the destiny can be changed. It's all
Hmm.
about the light perspective.
Hmm. Absolutely. Very well said. Yeah.
So I always tell people, follow one path and focus on it. You can be a Lal Kitab astrologer, and I've seen some of the brilliant Lal Kitab astrologers. They are
Hmm.
practicing. You can be a
Hmm.
Brigu Nandinari astrologer. Again,
Hmm.
wonderful
Hmm.
path. Please focus, stick to it, master it. You can't say, okay, I will do a Brigu Nandinari course 6 weeks, then I will move to Vedic. Another, because Vedic takes like 5 years if you honestly wants to master it. But it is like it has full tools,
Yes.
starting from the Rashi to going to the final path of the Upayacharyas or Upaya Samhita, the last chapter of Brihad Parashara Hora Shastra.
Mm.
But you can't blame. I mean, the trouble is with the one who says, this is better and this is bad. You can't
Yeah.
even.
You can't.
You have to be retarded to even say that. When I mean, you only go to the school which suits you. You only go to a teacher who you think you can understand. A person who is in nursery class is useless for a PhD teacher, and PhD teacher will cannot teach him. He will say, that
True.
student, that teacher is bad, or that subject is
Mm.
bad.
Mm.
But let's suppose you are in 12th standard, you will find a teacher who is teaching 12th standard now.
Mm.
Similarly, the universe does same thing. Universe says, you are ready for this,
Mm.
go with this teacher.
Yeah.
And then you dedicatedly learn that subject. And this
Mm.
is how you actually, I mean, if you have good ninth house, you have a
I
good ninth
agree.
house, you're going to get good teachers. You're going to learn, pick up quickly. Bhagya is going to support you.
Yes.
And if you do not have a good, if you're not born with good ninth house, I would suggest is please go to temple every day at least. Have some
Mm.
compassion,
Yeah.
get some punya, and then what will happen is, as a result of it, when you
Mm.
become humble, what will happen? You will get good teachers in life.
Mm. Deepanshuji, coming to the mandir part, the temple part or the puja part, some people say that you should not be going to the temple if there is a certain combination or a prayer a place, a religious place, if you have certain combinations in the horoscope. This is my
Okay.
personal question.
Okay. Uh,
Mm.
I would suggest them to go to the basics of it. It comes from Lal Kita for Jupiter 7th house and Jupiter 10th house, that
Mm-hmm.
do not worship idols or do not go to temple, and different dictums related
Mm.
to it.
Mm.
What people don't understand is it is said with the reason.
Mm.
Whenever a Jupiter, because again, Jupiter is a people pleaser. What happens is
Mm.
when a person starts going temple, the
Mm.
person starts saying, okay, I will do good to everyone, I will do this, and the person becomes soft hearted. Or
Mm.
same thing with the Jupiter 10th house.
Mm.
So, what person should do is he should go to temple, but keep in practical approach. What happens with Jupiter is also optimism. So they
Mm.
get overly optimistic. You
Optimism.
should have some kind of a practical sense, somebody to tell you, you can't leave everything to temple or God and say,
Or the god.
and not be practical about it. This
Okay.
is what the Jupiter 7th trouble is, or Jupiter 10th trouble is. This is why it is advised over there. But
Okay.
definitely go to temple. Yeah, something which you have not understood, please don't say it.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. And people want to know about Saturn Dasha
I mean,
related to Saturn Mahadasha.
I always say Saturn Dasha is like you work and you don't ask. Don't ask for fruits in Saturn Mahadasha. Reason being is Saturn Dasha, even if you get the fruit, I mean, what will happen at best is Saturn Libra. What's
Mm.
best going to happen? Saturn
Mm.
Libra is the judge, or
Okay.
somebody who is a investment, or somebody who is a what do you call? The one who analyzes the difficult situations, risk management, something like this. The one who assesses different people. This is
Hmm. Hmm.
what's going to happen best in Saturn, right? So not
Right.
only judge, but somebody who's a risk assessment person, somebody who's sitting in a position who judges others. So whoever you will say take negative is going to come back and say, you have done bad with me. I mean, imagine this. What is the requirement of Saturn? Every planet wants to teach you something. Like Sun wants you to teach you how to manage.
Hmm.
Saturn wants you to be without emotions. Saturn wants to dry everything so that you can run longer. And how you run longer is without water, without any moisture, any water emotions. Huh? No
Hmm.
water emotions should be inside you.
Hmm.
And at the end, you feel like it just does not matter. The way life is going is it's
It's
the way it
perfect.
is. It's perfect, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean that's absolutely true. The acceptance and I mean one day I thought why Saturn has got Capricorn. Like
Hmm.
Saturn could have got like first house or third house or sixth house of service,
Hmm.
but Saturn got 10th.
Hmm.
And the reason of Saturn 10th is the moment you reach that Capricorn, the seat,
Hmm.
and you sit on someone's head, you realize, you know, I don't even want this. It's not even worth it. You will not even, you will say, I don't even need it now. See, I've been through 19 years of Mahadasha. And I realize when I look back, the amount of hard work, humiliation, the amount of insults, the amount of isolation I've faced in that Saturn Dasha, because it's a eighth lord. So a lot of life experiences got in Saturn Dasha. But when I look back, I realize, I would never be able to do this in this Dasha. It makes you mature very early. It makes you feel like an old person. See, after Saturn, there's a Mercury, right? So
Mercury,
you have two extreme ends. You have an old person, and then the
Mercury.
extreme young prince will welcome you and say, you're still young. Ketu Dasha is like, you lost. There's an interesting dictum which says only two types of people can give you remedies. An astrologer which has either a Jupiter or a Ketu. It has to be extremely prominent in person's chart to liberate you.
Yeah.
And I've seen, even when the person is not an astrologer and they have this Jupiter or Ketu, whenever person comes to meet them, see, you can't be an astrologer. What you're doing is, or a doctor or a person who is actually giving solutions to people in stress. You need to have one of these two plans. When people will come to you for your consultations, they will already feel better. They will say, okay, while talking to you, my heart problem is already solved. Placebo. But see, that's the energy someone's carry, right? You will meet people. I have experienced this in my consultations. There are times when I meet people and I feel really sad. I feel sad because of the situations. I feel, I wish I could have done more. There are people whom you met, and they are very on a very different level, and they will actually make you alive, and they are on a very different vibration. So whenever there's people who are there to sit and clear you from the bad times, you will see their Dashansh Lagna, Navansh Lagna, Jupiter, Ketu prominently sitting to give solutions to everyone. And you will see that in your consultation. Every morning when you make your Panchang, that will give you the idea what kind of people you are going to visit. And then you can always go back and see if a planet is transiting any special position. For example, Mercury is going retrograde right now. Mercury is in Scorpio. So I know, Mercury in Scorpio is like, Mercury plays a very important role in Tantra. So Mercury in Scorpio, I know that, this week, last week I had one of the most busiest week in the whole year. And I realized this Mercury Scorpio, every one of them, either Tantra, either, black money or some other issue. It was Mercury Scorpio, transactions happening in dark. But at the end of the day, when I'm giving them solutions, I realize one thing. When someone has a very bad karma, or, you see that, like somebody has a Mars Rahu 8th, he's going to die violently. You can't say that to client. So what you do is, you just say, do one thing. Explosives, right? This is something explosive. So you must have karma related to that Mars Rahu 8th house. And this is where you need to bring out remedies, and these remedies have to be extremely different for this person. Without him knowing and considering that why I'm even giving them a remedy. Or the best remedy I always tell all these astrologers to give is look at the Lagan, because Lagan is that person. If you improve Lagan, everything else will automatically improve. Or the Mahadasha Lord, pick up that Mahadasha Lord and say, do this remedy. But that karma with that person, you always have that. With few of them will have a very special karma. If that, like for example, your sun, let's suppose, is in 13 degrees, or your Saturn is in 13 degrees, 5th house. When sun transits 13 degrees, or Mars transits 13 degrees, this person is a past life brother. If you meet him on that day, you will actually feel. And then you will not have good consultation that day. You will fight in that consultation. So what you do, you superimpose transits on your chart, and then you keep on looking. So till now I've met two people. One of them, Saurabh, everybody knows Saurabh. Another one I've met, I always tell him, he's bigger than me in age, and I always tell him, you're my past life kid. And he treats me in a similar
Like a
manner.
father.
And you see, This person, if I tell him, do this, this needs to be done, and this person will have no questions asked because extremely obedient. So
Wow.
when I tell Saurabh that you're a past life brother, I mean he is like little brother, na? So there's a relation
Hmm.
which we both goes. I mean, what people don't know, it's not only on screen. Like with you, people know first time that we two know each other, but Saurabh,
Huh.
it's like goes way back.
Hmm.
So when you superimpose things and you clearly look and then you say, okay, this is why it will happen today. And
Hmm.
I've noticed this, and you will meet very interesting people those days. I mean, I have a complete file of every person I've made on
Wow.
every occasion. And now I also go back and look,
Hmm.
okay, this is was the real outcome of it. This is how it actually played, and this is how you actually learn the real techniques of
Okay.
Prashna. So you see, whenever you do any sadhana,
Yes, you were saying about that.
start any sadhana.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, you will start getting signs. Like you start doing Shivji sadhana, right? You start going temple and you start day one, day two. If you're serious with sadhana, if you really want to get connected, you'll start getting similar names people in your life.
Okay.
You'll start getting shivling in gifts. So you start getting
Okay.
namats from the god. I mean, you see, for example, I'll tell you, we got 4 Shankars in our office. So how is that possible? You can't get this kind of energy.
Hmm.
But the thing is, uh, all these people are blessings. Whenever you get
Lord
Ganesha, it means
Shankar.
something new is going to start.
Start.
Something
Hmm.
very new is going to start. The when I say Shankar means they are real people working with us. Mani Shankar, Shankarji, and then there's another
Okay.
Shankarji. So yeah, different Shankars. So even when you have to hire people, hire with the names. I always hire with names. For example,
Okay.
I mean, I got cancer. See, I'm a cancerist, and my second lord is Surya, right?
Hmm.
So I will always hire people with the name of Surya for the accountancy. I don't even have to look their charts. I mean,
Okay.
or whenever the person will bring, these are the people for. I said, uh, says the Surya Sahasranam. Just read once. See whichever names represents light.
Hmm.
There is a something related to Surya.
Hmm.
Hire him. That person will
Hmm.
do good. Until now, this has served us well. Other day,
Hmm.
someone asked me, should we hire him for digital marketing? And this is not me. This is someone else asking for their company
Hmm.
because
Okay.
the same thing I do with his company. So, and I said, this person, and the name was Webhav. I said,
Hmm.
Zulfi, Shire, wear baggy clothes, problem with father, bad teeth. These were the 5 predictions. And he sent me a screenshot of his Instagram profile with a lot of shairi. The name carries an energy. It's a very
Yes.
important part of someone's life. It's not about the spellings, it's about the pronunciation.
Hmm.
And the way you're going to pronounce someone's name, the way we are going to talk, the way how much relaxed we are
Hmm.
is going to actually affect where you're going to behave. It's basically
Right.
Mercury.
Right.
The name is Mercury. People with
Mercury.
a bad Mercury will have, a, not a proper name. And
Hmm.
surname is Jupiter. So somebody the other day met, and his last name was Aurora, because
Uh-huh.
Jupiter is lineage. You're getting from your father's forefathers, and instead
Hmm.
of Aurora, he used Arura. And I said, why you have changed this Aurora to Aurora? I said, it's a name spelling correction I went for.
Hmm.
And I said, even without looking at chart, I'm telling you, Jupiter is afflicted. You don't
Hmm.
even have to look at the chart. And I looked at the chart. It was Jupiter again in bad, extremely bad condition, afflicted by Saturn Rahu. It was trouble.
Hmm.
So your name tells the personality you are. And over a period of time, I'm doing this from last, I mean, I think I taught this course or this 2 classes, I think about 6 years back.
Hmm.
So till now, there's a lot of experience which has happened over a period of time. And I'm not never going to teach it again. This is what I've vowed. Okay, I'm never going to teach this particular course again. But you see the name, like your name, Vanita, right?
Hmm.
So the moment I will hear this name, and I will say, it's a very sharp Shukra.
Hmm.
So when I say sharp Shukra, it means the Shukra is with Ketu. And if there would have been Ka, Vantika, I would say, it's a Shukra Ketu Mangal. Then I will, based on that, I will give my predictions. Only thing is how you identify yourself. How you're
Okay.
going to, I mean, if you identify as Vanita,
Hmm.
that will show up in your personality. sharp Shukra. So if there would have been a ka sound, ka ka ga ga, it's coming from the kasha, it means this portion is active, and whenever this
Yeah.
portion gets active,
Yeah.
you know how that's, when we chant something, like you chant Hanuman Chalis, I always tell people, chant any chant extremely louder.
Hanuman.
What happens when your this throat gets activated? This is a hormones there, right? This is thyroid gland.
Thyroid.
It releases hormones. What hormones does? It also affects your gut. There's a bacteria in gut, and when bacteria in the gut gets activated, you starts changing. Your brain starts changing because this thyroid controls your nervous system as well. Everything gets better, and that's why it is important to chant a right mantra, right DT, or whichever stotra you are doing. Please do it properly. Learn it. I mean, that's a blessing you've got. This is who you are. Adding an extra A or removing an extra O is not going to help anyhow because that
No.
pronunciation is not going to get better. Vignaharta. Because
Vignaharta. Yeah.
because when you get a lot of nonsense in your life, right? A lot
Yeah.
of unwanted noise which you're getting in life, pray to Lord Ganesha. I mean, you can start with Om Gam Ganpate Nama, or you can go with the 12 names of Lord Ganesha every morning.
Ganesha.
You can go with the Ganesha Shrutana Namvali. You can also go to Ganesha Tarvasrisham if you really want to go on another level. So
That's-
when you chant names of God, you can see the effect of it as well.
Please talk about your experiences which have gone against conventional rules, principles, and guidelines of Vedic astrology and changed your own formulations and techniques as a result.
So this is very deep. Thing is ki, once we read a shlok, and I always believe, it will take us months to even understand it, sometimes years to properly understand it. And there will be times when we will alter it. Because what Maharshi Parashar is assuming is, because he's actually in talk with Maitre. Maharshi Parashar is assuming is Maitre knows everything. And he is actually guiding Maitre that, okay, Maitre, do this. Maitre, when this is a combination, this happens. And Maitre must have been an intelligent student, not like us. So whenever there's a shlok which I feel this is not going to work, because Maharshi Parashar is going in extreme ends. Like he's saying, when Saturn is in first house and he's going extremely full blast, that this is bad. And Saturn goes in seventh house, Maharshi Parashar is again going full blast, extremely positive, fifth gear.
Positive.
But this is not how it actually works. We both know, okay, so when Saturn is in first house, but what if there is a niche bang happening? Then what's you going to do? So you never make extreme predictions until unless you see an extreme combination. There is always a balance which is working, and you will see 95% charts are balanced. They're not for crazy people. There is that 1% chart or 5% charts which are gone way haywire on that side or that side, and they have either exalted or debilitated planets only in their charts.
Yep.
And you will see their life will go up and down and up and down, and you'll say, okay, you'll have an interesting life. There's a dictum. People who have exalted or debilitated planet in their lagna, or their lagna lord gets exalted or debilitated, their life is always happening. Interesting. They're not going to die with 9 to 5 jobs. I mean, this is one line shlok, right? And then you'll say, okay, how powerful that will not that. Then you quantify it. Okay, what this exalted planet is looked upon by his friend, and it is sitting with another friend. Then it is like full blast on. Then we'll say, okay, this chart is going to be interesting. Whenever a person comes to me, and I mean, most of them are references. I don't book via website. Most of them come via references only, and these all of them are in a situation or a condition that when that door closes, I tell everyone, whatever you will say stays in this room. I'm going to die with all those secrets. Don't worry.
Yes. Yes.
And then whatever those people say and they explain, and I don't judge people. Why is saying this? Why is saying this? Why is saying this? And I say, okay, now do one thing. This will happen. Go do this. This is what you can get achieved. This is what you can't. You have to let it go. And all those extreme combinations. I mean, see, I have understood over a period of time, it is a Graha which is an extreme condition. This person has gone to extreme, and I laugh with them when they're explaining. I become sad with them when they're
Hmm.
going through a bad time.
Hmm.
But all I look at is the graha in the chart, that why this person is suffering in this dasha, or why this person is going in this turmoil due
Yeah.
to these mistakes. If there's a
Simple.
case, there was a case, and asked about previous girlfriends of the
Hmm.
marriage, and I said,
Hmm.
"Do you have previous girlfriends of the marriage?" And this person was not there; his brother was there,
Hmm.
and he said, "I don't know." I said, "I need something related previous girlfriends here, because
Hmm.
even if I go for the marriage prediction, because he was suffering from this marriage court case and something else."
Hmm.
And then later he said, the old girlfriend and his wife met,
Hmm.
teamed up, and they
Okay.
both are now troubling him. Now imagine how much of an extreme combination would have happened in the chart, that a
Hmm.
previous girlfriend decided from last, which was there in his life from last 2 or 3 years,
Hmm.
team up and say, okay, now we will take leave. It has to be
Hmm.
extreme. I mean,
True.
poor guy, but his combination was like that in the chart. A very
Mm-hmm.
afflicted fifth house. So, and going through a bad dasha again.
Yeah. Yeah.
dasha se bada. Dasha se bada koi nahi hota.
What do you have to say about Moon Ketu combination?
Not mentally stable. I mean, I'm saying this for myself. Sorry. It's a good combination if you can handle the energy. It's just all the psychic you will see, all those
Hmm.
people who are in Jyotish, you will see, all those
Hmm.
people who are in a position where they are in a business to understand emotions. They're in business to understand what the other person will feel,
Hmm.
or how I can go with the emotional part. All these people are reading the energies. I mean, Ketu is spiritual energy and the energy of the
Yeah.
universe. How much? I mean, Ketu, when the Ketu is there, you don't need things. You can only smell and tell that this is going to happen, because your sixth sense is on another level, and this is
Hmm.
why the Moon Ketu gives you isolation.
Yeah.
But it only gets activated again when you leave your moon house. It will not get
Oh,
activated if you stay within your comfort zone. And it
okay.
depends on which house this combination is happening. But I
Hmm.
think it's one of the most brilliant combination. I mean, see, Ketu is one of those planets, and again, have to give solutions. The one
Yeah.
who will liberate you. So Ketu ninth house dasha will liberate you from boss.
Hmm.
Ketu third house dasha will liberate you from titles. But you see, one of the books says Ketu third house is a Raj Yoga. It is BPHS. Why you think it's a Raj Yoga? Because you see, everything in our lives, right? We are bounded. We are always inside this name, this title, this thing, and
Hmm.
we are in these boxes. When a Ketu third house comes, it says, no boxes, no
Okay.
more limitations.
12th house from the cushion, 4th house.
Absolutely. And this is all those things which Mercury has built till now for you. Ketu third house says, okay, it's my time, Raj Yoga. And there are people
No.
who come, they talk for once, twice, they leave, because they will be
Yeah.
like, yaar, ye banda time nahi deta hai. Time nahi deta in the sense ki, you see, I'm very specific when I text even. I write
Yes.
shorter
Yes.
notes. So I always respect other people's, here, isko ek line mein na. What people don't understand is the amount of people you have to connect with on every day. And
Yeah.
again,
I
that
agree.
Ketu is like isolation, requires me time, requires that, I need to sort out this out.
Yeah.
Because you see, Ketu is such a brilliant planet, now it will make you work for what you actually like, what will actually liberate you.
Yeah.
And
True.
if you don't work for it, I mean, you can have all the money in the world, or everything you will get, all the fame you will get, but it will not satisfy that Ketu.
No. No.
What satisfies Ketu is what we are actually doing. I mean, did I study something good? Did I do something which is brilliant today? That gives me peace. Always do it again. It was very
I
nice
know
talking
it
to.
was yeah, same here. So we can do one thing. We can plan it for some time whenever you are available next week, so that people, if they have any questions, they can put it up also in the comment section, and we'll
Sure,
go
ma'am.
live only. So we can take it up again.
Sure, ma'am.
These kinds of
Thank you.
sessions, and we can do it often also.
And it was very nice talking to you, Antikari. And
Thank
when
you.
another astrologer sits with you, you're a very different scale, because You don't have to explain that basics part.
No, and people are asking questions which make sense. Then you
Yes.
obviously, then you want to also take up those kinds of questions.